Hi, I'm Holly Pike. If you'd like a trial of the Generation software that I use for digitizing, please visit trygenerations.com. This video is a recording of a live video I did for my previous students. You may hear references to You Can Digitize or YCD. That's my old website that is now closed. My new website is digitizingschool.com. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Defaults and Preferences module. Generations has lots of defaults and lots of presets, or preferences actually. We've already set up our workspace and we kind of like how that's looking. So, some things that we want to do. I'm going to go over to View and left click on it and come all the way down to View Preferences. Okay? When we get here, we have all kinds of things to look at. I'm going to start at the top of this box to the autosave. And autosave, you want to make sure autosave stays checked. So you want to say, yes, I want to autosave. Okay, I'm a pretty fast digitizer. Okay, I changed my autosave to 3 minutes. Oops, not 33, but 3. I change it to 3 minutes because that way I know as I'm digitizing, if the program crashes, which it does because it's a graphic intensive program, it does from time to time, I have saved every 3 minutes. So I know I'm only going to have 3 minutes of work. For me, the difference between 3 and 5 minutes is huge. It could be, a quarter of a design. So I changed mine to 3 minutes. You can change that to whatever you like. I work in millimeters. I'm going to teach you in millimeters. You can change it to inches. You can show in both units. I'm going to encourage you very, very strongly to work in millimeters. I'm going to teach you millimeters. It's not hard. Yes, the screen on Facebook will be a bit blurry just by nature of the technology. The recordings, Augie, will be perfect. The recordings will be good and clean for you to see. Okay, so up here, the very top one here is millimeters. That's the one you want to check. Now I have checked Use Thread Library. I'm going to choose the thread library I like. There's all kinds of thread libraries in here. All kinds of them. I choose Robus and Anton Super Bright because behind me, if you look behind me on my wall, whoop, over the other shoulder, right over here, over that shoulder, is my Robus and Anton thread, and it's the entire rack of Robus and Anton. So that's why I choose Robus and Anton thread. I'm going to have checked Display Thread Bar and Ignore Group. Auto-generate after punching and stitching property edit. The reason I have that is when I make an area, say I make a square, it's going to auto create that square for me instead of me having to push the generate button. So you want to have that checked. You want to have remove compensation in 3D view checked. A lot of these are defaults, so you just want to leave them. But this right here, it says 0.40. I want you to change that to 0.20. Okay? Okay, I want this to be 0.20. That's going to help you with how it looks on the screen. And what that has to do is that's compensation of fabric. If we don't have that checked, or if we don't have that set for 0.20, it's not going to look the way we want it to on the screen. And this is a setting that was given to me by Generations, a change of settings. Okay, the next thing is this, the Play Shadow Color. If you click on this square, you get all these choices. I'll show you what this is in a minute. Pick your favorite color. I'm going to pick this bright pink. It's not my favorite color, so I'll pick that blue and say OK. Now that's your play shadow. Leave do not show the image, edit dialog box, blah, blah, blah. Leave that checked. Okay? These are all settings that Deb, you said why. Why to what? Help me out. Okay, the next thing, I'm going to go to the hoop and original point. Now I'm going to move my box over a little bit. You see this right here? This is show original point and design center. I'm going to turn those off. And I'm going to show you why later. I don't want my design to auto center. And I'll show you why later when I'm showing you how to digitize. But for now, you're going to turn that off. And I'm going to leave show hoop. I'm going to leave that checked. Up here, we want to choose our hoop. I have Baby Lock 4x4 chosen as my default hoop. You can always come in and change it, but that's my default hoop. Over the years, I've worked in, okay, thanks, Deb. I've worked in 4x4 so much when people only had 4x4 machines, so I'm just used to having my 4x4 hoop set. I know some of my team has their 5x7 hoop set, which is cool. Okay, so that's all on this page. You want to make sure that your settings here say 500 and 500, 1000, 1000, and 500, 500. That has to do with where your hoop shows up on your screen, where the center of your screen is. Okay? Next is the canvas setting. You notice my background is yellow. I already said I don't like that, so I'm going to click on this color button, and I'm going to make it white. I like a nice clean background when I'm working. You can choose to have no grid lines or dots like I have, or lines. Your choice. These are just for alignment purposes, and I usually turn them off when I'm working. So you can choose that. You can also choose the color of your grid line. So if you wanted your grid line to be, maybe you have a favorite football team, you could make your grid lines that color and the guidelines another color. You could do all that kind of cool stuff. Now right here is the spacing. I have mine set to roughly 1/2 inch or a half of, I think it's a centimeter. No, it wouldn't be a centimeter, 1/2 inch. So that I know that each of these, from this line to this line, is roughly a 1/2 inch, even though I'm working in millimeters. So you want that to be set to you want this right here to be set at 12.50 and 12.50 for a 1/2 inch. That's just so it looks like my screen. If you like something else, then you can go ahead and change it to something else. This over here, by the way, is just my Wacom tablet, this thing here. Just my Wacom tablet controls, so you can just ignore that. Okay. Now, we have all of our settings done. I'm not going to change this. I'm not going to set a canvas, though you can do that. If you check this, you can set a different background for your, maybe you have a cotton woven fabric and you want to see how it looks, or you want to see how your design looks on denim. You can do that by checking that space. Okay, so those are my preferences, and I'm going to say OK. Now notice that my screen now is white, my guidelines are light blue, and life seems pretty good right now. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is close the program. Okay, I'm going to close the program. And I'm closing the program so that it keeps my settings. Now I'll open the program again and notice my settings, my white screen, and everything is just exactly the way I left it. Okay, this ends the workspace preferences.